2024 begins with a bang. We have Mercury stationing direct on the 1st of January, so things can start really moving more forward for us in more clarity, as Jupiter also just stationed direct on the 30th of December. And then on the 20th of January, we have a very, very big day, as that day Mercury goes out of shadow and the Sun and Pluto conjunct and ingress into Aquarius, which officially marks, to me, the age of Aquarius that we are moving into. And this is also a 20-year transit that will completely transform humanity and the world as we know it. And then we also have on the 13th and 14th of February, which is traditionally Valentine's Day time, we have Mars conjuncting Pluto at this 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is also a time where we can expect more violence in the world and just more ruthlessness in general, criminal activity. But on a personal level, we could expect ourselves to just feel much more empowered. We can feel more that we have more willpower to push through and to push something forward. But it is important to really use temperance with this intensity at that time. And then on April 20th, we have Jupiter and Uranus conjuncting in the sign of Taurus, which is a rare event. I also cover what this has done in the past in my 2024 astrology highlights video. So I will also link that below so you can check it out if you like. But on a world scale, this is a huge, could be a very huge unexpected event. But with Jupiter involved, we would hope that it could be mostly beneficial and liberating in some way. But of course, this possibly has to do with Taurian, Uranian, and Jupiterian themes. So this leads us to agriculture, food, banking, financial currencies, and so forth. And with the ruler of this conjunction in Taurus, Venus, is currently in Aries at the time of this conjunction. And in Aries, she's actually in the Dwad that's ruled by Uranus and Saturn, which is an Aquarian Dwad, which again leads us back to the Sun and Pluto ingressing into Aquarius on the 20th of January. And that Aquarian digital energy, and Pluto, again, financial, powerful shifts. And with the Sun, with that initial ingress, I feel it really just indicates more, like a leadership kind of legislation. The 11th house, Aquarius, very much deals with legislation in regards to big financial shifts. And then, of course, we have Mars as the dispositor over Venus, the ruler, at the time of the conjunction is in Pisces, where it's more subdued emotional energy. But it moves into its own sign, Aries, on the 30th of April, which is only 10 days after this conjunction, where it can then move forward with action towards plans. And then we also want to look at what is Venus like when Venus is in Aries, as she is the ruler of this conjunction. Venus in Aries is more aggressive to what she desires. She will very impulsively move towards partnerships and alliances, and she can have us be just more aggressive with our social expression. So that can also give you more of an idea of what can be going on at this time. And then in May, we have, at the end of May, the 25th of May, we have Jupiter ingressing into Gemini. So this is very positive, I feel, as it brings a lot of tolerance between us. It strengthens community, our sense of community and compassion. It makes us more broad-minded, and it also brings in much more information and curiosity at this time, and definitely much more communication. And then this year we still have the nodes in Aries and Libra. So we are moving from the partnership dynamic with the South Node in Libra to the more to exploring the more individual dynamic of North Node in Aries, where we're more also aware of our rights and freedoms and what we want to move and initiate moving forward. This is also the axis of me and the other. This is also the axis of peace and war, love and war, which is what we are facing in the world right now, with Mars and Venus ruling the nodes. Now we will also, and actually you can think back at 2004 and up to June of 2006, the nodes would have been in Aries and Libra at that time. So you can think about connections and themes that you may have had at that time as well. Now we will have eclipses in March, April, September, and October. Now, in my opinion, the April eclipse is going to be one to watch. Of course, we have activation 6 months prior and post with eclipses, so it's not necessarily that day, but that's definitely a theme to watch. We also have our first Pisces eclipse in September, as the nodes will shift to Virgo and Pisces in February, I believe, of 2025. And we have a very fire energy this year, as we have all of our retrogrades in fire signs this year. We have Mercury retrograding in Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And then we have Mars retrograding at the end of the year, December 6th up until February of 2025. And this Leo house has been really a big theme for you in your chart, as we had the Mercury retrograde there in August of 2024. 2023, we had Venus retrograding in Leo. And now we will have Mars retrograding there as well at the end of the year. So the Leo house is going through some transformations, definitely. And we are definitely learning about standing in our autonomy and our sovereignty with all this fire element going on. So this year I really feel like there's very much a theme of blue and red, with the Aquarian emphasis and the fire emphasis, and very much that blue and red pill, making big choices, Jupiter and Gemini, choosing sides, the duality of Gemini as well, and the mental energy of such a strong Aquarius, and then also Jupiter moving into Gemini this year. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of decision making, moving forwards with that North Node in Aries, initiating. And this really is a year where we have the courage to pursue our passions with conviction. And we are marking our uniqueness, our unique differences, which strengthens our communities. And it strengthens us in humanity as a whole. And through this strengthening, we allow room for creative innovation, which once again propels us forward and helps us to move upwards, upgrading more, which is also Aquarius. And this is all while we are protecting our individuality in the face of huge earth and cosmic shifts. I would also highly recommend taking good care of your lymph this year, your lymphatic system, your immune system, and also cleansing the blood regularly and detoxing. So I would highly recommend suggesting supportive herbs such as holy basil, turmeric, milk thistle, and cayenne pepper. This is not medical advice. Have a blessed 2024. Welcome, Cancer Rising. This is your 2024 Astrology Horoscope Potentials. Pluto has been in your 7th house since 2008 of love relationships, one-on-one relationships, business relationships, lawsuits, contracts and agreements, separations, war, so to speak, open enmity, and areas that also deals with theft and so forth. Now, Pluto usually begins by breaking down the area of life it moves through and then rebuilds it transformed and renewed and aligned with your truth. Now, you've been passing through Pluto's complete transformation in that area of life since 2008 that very much deals with relationships. Now, I'm going to briefly just go over this. This had you diving deeper into relationship patterns. You may have experienced profound changes through a one-on-one relationship. The people you encountered during this lengthy transit were a mirror to you, triggering parts of your deeper self to be noticed, healed, and transformed. In some cases, you may have had dealings with criminals or had to face many power struggles, and also underhanded action, intense sexual relationships, obsessive and controlling relationships or dynamics, and even breakups and or stalking, etc. If you were in a committed relationship, such as marriage, it would probably not make it through a transit like this unless it is sound and a fit. If it made it through this, it can probably make it through almost anything. Well, it can make it through anything. You may have had health issues triggered at times, or even close life and death encounters with Pluto here. Also, possibly a parent has. So the lesson to leave with Pluto leaving this area of your chart is to own your part in all of it, to realize that you cannot control others. You cannot make someone love you the way you desire. You cannot lose something that's not yours. That is where your power lies. In letting go, you attract what is meant for you, and by clinging or chasing, you repel instead. Now, Pluto will ingress your 8th house of transformation, the house of Aquarius, on the 20th of January 2024. Now, it was here briefly for a few months in 2023, in March, April, May. So you can think back at that time and see what came up for you at that time, because there can be similar connections, obviously, now. But overall, Pluto is more at home in the 8th house of transformation. This is the area of death and rebirth, another approximate 20 years of diving deeper into the meaning of life, maybe coming in close contact with a death of some kind or of some part of you, experiencing a profound change through some kind of trauma or huge financial transformation or person that affects you deeply. You may want to study astrology or something similar, or delve into more let's say topics that are not necessarily above board. Topics of shared resources, business and marriage agreements, taxes, other people's money and possessions can come up now. I wanted to say the occult before. Sorry, the word escaped me. So all of this can come up now. Who spent $300 on a pair of jeans out of the joint account? Arguments about alimony or who owns what and receives what. In divorces can show up with Pluto here, or when there's issues in regards to, say, inheritances. Your intimacy and trust may be tested, and your sexuality and deepest desires could come to quite a potency point with Pluto here. Jealousy and betrayal can rear its head. It's not the time to get into debt or enter relationships where you are dependent on someone else financially. Always make sure you have your own money if you can, or you may have someone else have some kind of power and control over you. In some cases, this transit can come along with an inheritance, while other transits support that. By the end of this transit, you will not be the same as you were when it began, as this is a profoundly healing and purifying time. Your interest in the deeper side of life will transform you from the material to the spiritual. Now, Neptune has been in your ninth house of Pisces since 2011 and will be here until 2025, where you may have been stimulating your spiritual interests, searching for truth and higher levels of consciousness. Neptune has increased your intuitive awareness, but at times can also bring in confusion. You can be unsure about your beliefs and faith at times. Neptune here can dissolve boundaries of separation between worlds, as well as you and the world, blurring the distinction of you and others. It's important to allow yourself to not know, to search, to explore these deeper sides of life and meaning and philosophy. Eventually, the fog will clear and you will begin to recognize truth and your relationship and with it and with the cosmic consciousness and cosmos and spirituality. You will begin to realize that everything is connected. It is important to learn that we need to stay in gratitude for our knowledge and of our lessons, that we're not superior to others, that we do not know it all, nor do we have to, as it is quite simply impossible, that we are simply to learn as much from others and the world around us as we can, to stay open-minded in order to grow our egos could cause us to separate. We are to accumulate wisdom, enrich our souls, as that is what we will be taking with us into eternity, and only that. Uranus has been in your 11th house of Taurus since 2018 and will be here until 2026. Now, you may have been experiencing much changes, genius ideas, innovation, and solutions, as well as unusual occurrences regarding your hopes and dreams. You may have lost friends, found new ones, maybe very different from what you used to. Your peer group and co-workers may be undergoing changes. Someone at work may have had a surprising effect on you. Maybe even a love interest, as Taurus is ruled by Venus. This is a period where there can be upsetting changes in the work or co-worker environment, or the financial side of business could go through many ups and downs or instability. In rare cases, a loved one could pass unexpectedly. Who and what you affiliate with can change. Your political views, groups you belong to, etc. You may have the feeling of wanting more freedom or independence here, or to rebel against certain possible pressure of friends or groups or dynamics at work. Your values are changing, and therefore your friends and support groups are changing as well. The nature of your work could change. New technology could be introduced, or you may be using a more online approach at times. Initially, many of the changes can be abrupt and be unexpected or even hurt you. Remain as flexible as you can, as that is where your strength is now. Regardless, though, you're being awakened, and everything you've gone through will work out for the positive. As this area is being revolutionized now, and once Uranus has moved through this house, your associations and your future plans will be seen with a higher perspective, and you won't settle for less. This is the house of good luck, and fortunate, unexpected things can happen while Uranus is here. So keep looking up and stay open to these changes. Now, Saturn has been in Pisces from March in your 9th house and will be here until March of 2025. So it was here from March 2023 and will be here till March of 2025. And this is the area that deals with spirituality, faith, and beliefs. This is the same area that I spoke about now just previously, where Neptune is, where you may either integrate into an area or group or separate more. You may have to travel for responsibilities or work, or you may be separated from someone by distance. In some cases, a loss of some kind may bring you to investigate the deeper meanings of life. Your father may have played a more serious role during this time, or there may be more of a separation here. In-laws can play a more serious role. Topics of foreign places, legal issues could come up for you during this time. Maybe paperwork regarding property or foreign property or structures regarding, or even paperwork regarding studies or immigration, import, export. You may have really sunk your teeth into a study direction, learning a lot now about a certain area, doing something that maybe most people thought would not work out. There may be fear or leaping, fear of trying the new, fear of doing the odd thing, fear of travel, fear of not knowing the outcome or learning something new. So caution to thinking you've learned everything or know everything with this placement. Stay humble and keep moving forward without judgment. Keep learning and growing in wisdom while learning about the world around you. This is a period where you really get to know yourself deeper, and the wisdom you gain now, if you stay open, will assist you greatly on Saturn's move as it moves into your 10th house of career. Therefore, don't take any shortcuts, do the work, and the rewards will come in time. Just be patient. Now, Jupiter has been in your 11th house of Taurus since May of 2023 and will be here until the end of May of 2024, where it will then ingress into Gemini for a year. But while in your 11th house, this is a very lucky house, so there can be many benefits. Jupiter here brings benefits through a mentor or friends, foreign interests, financial increases or changes, opportunities for growth, better advancement options, new friends, influential people, powerful people, wise counsel, new co-workers or team environments, different and unusual people, and ideals for the future take full stage here. Now, genius ideas and solutions can occur, opportunities to go viral. You may have become more involved with a group or have been learning much through a group dynamic. You may learn a new language or form of communication. You might be called on to be the supportive friend now as well, or vice versa. You may be more in tune with politics and the world at large, maybe even become actively involved in improving the world around you. Working with others can bring great blessings now, but you also have to be cautious of not being taken for granted or used in some way by others. Jupiter here will expand your view on your future and bring lucky opportunities and breakthroughs here. New beginnings, new foundations worth celebrating. It can also bring in children from another person's marriage, like stepchildren. If you're entering into a relationship with someone that has children from a previous marriage, that can also show up while Jupiter is in this house. Now, on the 25th of May, 2024, Jupiter will ingress Gemini, your 12th house, for a year. And you can think back to 12 years ago and see what happened around that time, as similar connections may come up during this transit. And another thing I wanted to mention about the 11th house that I didn't mention was Jupiter here can also bring in mastery of, say, getting your master's degree in something, or getting certified in something, or getting something like some paperwork passed through legislation, or getting something approved by government and that type of thing. So let's go back to Gemini and Jupiter in your 12th house. So again, you can think back 12 years ago, what came up for you during that time, because there can be connections. While still in your 12th, Jupiter can heighten your spiritual awareness and possibly bring your subconscious darker issues to the forefront, such as self-sabotage or other psychological themes, in order for you to acknowledge and heal them. Your empathy for others increase, and you may become or receive a spiritual teacher or find teachings that grabs your interest or has you involved in church or some kind of spiritual involvement. In rare cases, there can be a death or mourning, but a relief. This is also an indication of travel or learning abroad or looking into such ideas. It can indicate pregnancy in some. Your dreams can become quite intense and you have a kind of inner knowingness of faith that underlines everything. Some can spend much more time here in prayer, but this transit will broaden your spiritual and worldly understanding, almost as if a symphony just puts it all together. Music and any kind of artistic endeavor can be much more transformative now and healing. On 20 April 2024, Jupiter and Uranus will conjunct in the sign of Taurus, and this is your 11th house. You can listen to my more in-depth discussion on how this may affect the world at large in positive and negative possibilities if you click on the link in the description box below to my 2024 mundane forecast for the collective. For some, this can be a wonderful time for growth, sudden opportunities that enhance freedom and evolution in some way, new discoveries and innovation regarding Taurian and Uranian and international themes can come up. But this is for you in your 11th house, which deals with basically friends, associations, your investments, your co-workers, your work environment, your peers, your mentors, and it very, very much deals with your future goals and your future dreams and how you're going about towards that. So there can be beautiful breakthroughs in this area. It can also deal with sometimes breakdowns before breakthroughs come through. But usually in the 11th house, this could possibly be very beneficial. Now, Mars on the 4th of January, Mars will ingress Capricorn, your 7th house of relationships. Mars here gives a more future-oriented drive, freedom and adventure seeking, and can bring arguments and discord in close one-on-one connections and spousal relations as well. You can experience more selfishness or competitiveness here, conflict, or you can use this time to work on the relationship or work on a project together whilst working on the relationship and your communication with each other. In some cases, you can break up. In other, you can start a new relationship now that's more physical. In some cases, this can indicate legal action. Regardless, the tendency is to act against one's own best interest with Mars here, and that can rear its head at this time. So take better care of your health and also think before you act or operate any machinery, as you can be more accident prone at this time. On the 13th of February, Mars will ingress your 8th house of Aquarius, where you could be dealing with more topics of other people's money, working with it or taking out a loan or arguing about joint resources. This could indicate investing into something or starting a new partnership or ending one, buying property. This could indicate sex, intimacy that's profound and life-changing for you, or a traumatic accident or event or person that completely changes your life or the way you perceive it, or it can be something in regards to your spouse or a committed relationship, a pregnancy, a birth or a surgery, a death and a rebirth in this area. Regardless, this is an area of life that profoundly affects you on the deepest levels of intimacy and feelings. On the 22nd of March, Mars will ingress Pisces, your ninth house. Here you could have been dealing with more intellectual work, or you may find that you have to defend your beliefs more. You may want to share your views with the world. You may want to travel or work abroad, or publish something, or announce something, study something, or end studies of something, or start a business with import exports, or take a trip, or buy property overseas. Maybe it involves work. You want to be more careful when you're traveling. You may be more interested in researching the deeper meanings of life, really researching philosophy. You may actively preach or teach, or for some, this can indicate legal issues. This can involve accidents abroad or actions involving your in-laws or your father, a teacher or a foreigner, your beliefs and faith. So all of these can be coming up for you during that time. And then on the 30th of April, Mars will ingress Aries, your 10th house of career, where you have been working hard on something that you're very passionate about, or where you may want to work hard because you identify with it so much. Mars here can sometimes indicate an independent project, or working on something by yourself or for yourself. There can be more possibility of tension or stress in the workplace with a boss, or in a group dynamic with Mars here. It can cause more conflict in some cases between co-workers as well as the public. Some can decide now to quit, or to change jobs or positions, or rather to work for themselves, as it can feel as if your efforts are being put down. Emotional instability can appear now, or emotional outbursts. You can find you're naturally more selfish at this time, or having to work in that way in order to get ahead. It is important now to be more cooperative, if possible, and to learn from any criticism you get. You can make huge progress here if you avoid engaging in the opposition, but to rather have it fuel your determination to get the job done well. Rather keep your mouth shut and just get it done. Get the authority on your side, even if you do that for yourself. For some, Mars here can have you have your work go viral or public in a way, or maybe anything that you may have kept under wraps could sort of make its way out, or you may end a partnership or leave a marriage or meet someone new, maybe even while working. Either way, this transit can affect all areas of life, because this is a 10th house transit. Conflicts versus home and career, partners, and your physical health and your approach to life can be affected now. This transit will keep you busy, but you'll be able to get a lot done. But you are more accident prone, so think before you do or speak or drive, and take better care of your health, as this can also affect your parent. So all of these things I mentioned, especially the health issues, and there can also affect a parent. On the 9th of June, Mars will ingress Taurus, your 11th house, where you may be more actively formulating goals, rethinking them, and you may be actively pursuing them or preparing to do so. Your work is more geared towards the future now. Mars here can sometimes make it harder to work within a group dynamic or a team environment, as you're naturally more selfish with a transit like this. You may have more tension or friction with a coworker, or in group dynamics. There's more chance of conflict between friends or groups you belong to. Therefore, work by yourself or independently in some way if you can. It'll be better. Focus on being more cooperative with others. This can be a great time for new inventive ideas, for group sport. You're acting on your future now, and your work and your connections need to flow in tune with that. On the 20th of July, Mars will ingress your 12th house of Gemini, where you can possibly be working more behind the scenes or more from a distance, in the background, or maybe remotely in a faraway place, or you're taking a break from work, changing how you do things, or taking a much needed holiday or retreat somewhere where you can work on your inner psychology. During Mars's transit here, you can find that your subconscious behaviors can come out in uncomfortable ways, creating strange experiences with people where you communicate in ways that they don't understand, or maybe what you're trying to say is taken the wrong way, so you make the wrong impression. So this is not a great time for interviews or doing anything where you need to sort of sell yourself. You can have secret enemies with this placement. Gossip and harsh words can be going on. It's important to avoid upsetting situations and people, especially if traveling overseas. Be more careful as you're more accident prone. Self-sabotaging behavior can be brought up now to work on. You can be more emotional. There can be unhealthy sexual obsessions, drugs, alcohol, speaking badly about others. This is a great time to go for therapy, to work on something by yourself, to work on yourself, to ask yourself, where am I defeating myself? This is also a great time to channel your pain and work on healing your pain through also spending time volunteering with others, helping others, being compassionate, focusing on others' pain and taking care of yourself, nurturing, bettering yourself, healing yourself through helping others as well. On September 4th, Mars will ingress Cancer, your first house of self, where you may feel more energetic, more assertive, and action-oriented towards your approach and perspective on life and your identity itself. Mars here can bring an increase in energy, libido, aggressiveness, impulsiveness. It can bring in hormone fluctuations, energy fluctuations. In some cases, you can act more selfish with Mars here or have a short fuse, possibly not as willing to cooperate or compromise much. It would be better, therefore, to rather work alone during this time if you can, or more independently. This seems to be a theme this year. You'll want your own way more. Maybe there can be more arguments or confrontations with Mars here, but you'll be able to accomplish a lot now. You're in go-go mode. A new man or a new love interest or a new person or a new work opportunity can present itself now. You're more accident prone now as well, and more susceptible to health issues, as Mars here makes you more permeable for penetrable diseases. You're more susceptible to headaches, inflammation, and so forth. So you want to make sure that you support your immune system during this time. Be more careful in regards to nervous tension, issues with electrical impulses, burns, and so forth. You want to think before you speak, do and drive. And you also may want to check into the condition of your vehicle at this time. And some can be purchasing new vehicles with this transit. Now, Mars will ingress your second house of Leo on November 3rd, where you may be taking practical action towards a change in the area of your work, how you earn a living, your committed relationships, your past and family, and also your diet. Mars here can have you try out more spicy food. You may eat faster, so be more cautious regarding choking. You can feel much more busy weighing options here. Mars can have you spending more money now or be more impulsive with your finances, so be more cautious. For some, this can indicate buying a home or property. You may be working more on your home now, adding comfort and functionality and cooking more, etc. Some could be thinking of working from home or starting a business. There can be a higher chance of throat or neck injuries, also thyroid issues, inflammation, etc. Arguments can arise here regarding income, financial topics, ownership, property, possessions. You could be deciding on when to take action regarding investments and all the topics I mentioned, buying and selling, and also defending your values. Your self-worth and how you identify with what you own will be up for growth. Remember, you are not what you do or own, and your worth cannot be measured by that. It's a great time to cut any negative ancestral influences and transform these from darkness into light, breaking the pattern. Now, retrogrades, I will only be covering the personal planets, and same with the eclipses. I'm just briefly going to go over them as I'll be covering them more throughout the year. Now, Mercury will be retrograding in all fire signs this year, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, and also in Virgo when it retrogrades in Leo. Now, Mercury will retrograde in your 10th house of Aries from the 1st to the 25th of April, from 27 degrees Aries to 15 degrees Aries. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Now, you might encounter work-related setbacks, authority conflicts, or challenges to your reputation during this period. It's a time to reconsider and assess this aspect of your life, identifying where changes or adjustments are necessary. This could also impact your relationship with a parent or lead to a change in marital status. While it's not favorable for new job opportunities or beginnings, it's an opportune time to reapply for a job that may have been elusive in the past, or you can use this period to refine your research, meticulously review your work, complete tasks, ensuring everything's in order. Completion of these tasks will bring a lot of clarity to this area of your life. This is also a great time to just reevaluate your direction in life, period. Now, Mercury will retrograde in your 2nd and 3rd houses of Virgo and Leo from the 5th to the 28th of August, from 4 degrees Virgo to 21 degrees Leo. So I'm kind of going at this backwards, but I'm going to start with your 2nd house of Leo. So while in your 2nd house of Leo, evaluate your cherished possessions and consider whether they're truly worth the investment. Be prepared for potential delays in receiving owed money. So it's prudent to set aside some funds as precaution. Unexpected financial gains might also come your way during this period. Reflect on your core values in life. Assess your satisfaction with your current income, generating activities, and also your financial stability at this time, and your own sense of confidence. Clarify your financial goals and determine if you believe in your worthiness to achieve them. Review your bank account, maintain your receipts, settle overdue bills, refrain from making any new purchases until Mercury's direct. Try not to sign any contracts at this time, and initiate or update a record of your expenditures of some kind. Kind of review your expenses and values. Consider opening a savings account, or considering, investment opportunities as you review this area of your life. Now, while in your 3rd house of Virgo, which is actually what I should have read first, various aspects of communication, transportation, and thinking can come under scrutiny during this period. You might sense more mental activity than normal. Mercury's transit here can amplify worries and nervous tendencies. So it's important to give yourself quiet moments to really gain clarity, especially if you're confused. And if you are confused, it could indicate that you need, additional information. But this is also a time where you want to check your vehicle's maintenance. You want to make sure that if you go on any short-term trips during this time, that your car is checked out, that you can get a refund on tickets, and that you're flexible if anything changes. In the realm of technology, conduct research, replace your phone battery, charge it regularly. Don't get a new phone or any new electronics or anything like that during a retrograde like this. You want to wait till afterwards, but make sure your work is backed up and so forth, and that you don't lose your phone. When communicating, ensure that you are communicating very clearly, that you're asking questions, you're confirming your messages, you're making sure you're understood, that people have received them. There can be a lot more, incidences in regarding mail getting lost, or, sending a message to the wrong person and that type of thing. Your appointments and schedules can be more upturned at this time. Employer spell check. Back up your computer regularly. Check your virus and software and all that stuff. Make sure you're not getting scammed. In personal interactions, you want to really try to really understand what the person is trying to say, especially before you just react. You want to diffuse potential arguments. Also, avoid promises you can't fulfill. And take this opportunity to reconnect with your siblings, especially if, and your neighbors and family, if there's been any issues with anyone previously. And some of them can maybe just pop up during this time. Now, Mercury will retrograde in your 6th house of Sagittarius from the 25th of November till the 15th of December 2024. And this will be from 22 degrees Sag till 6 degrees of Sagittarius. And this is a great time to reorganize your office, your desk, to sort out your diary, to create a to-do list, to rework your routines, to reconnect with colleagues, and reflect on your relationship with employees. Sometimes this transit can manifest as a lot of mix-ups in communication with teamwork. So, check that everyone's on the same page, that all the information is understood and received, like I just mentioned as well. Sometimes this transit can really throw your schedule about. So stay flexible, make sure everything's refundable. Routines and habits can be an excellent structure for work, but it can also make life very dull and predictable. So maybe this is a great time to just sort of revamp, get a new plant or put a new something up to give you a breath of fresh air. In matters of health, this is the time to do a personal inventory. How do you feel? Are you full of energy? Are you weighed down? Where could your symptoms be stemming from instead of just covering it up? This is the perfect opportunity to do some research into your own health issues, to consult a medical astrologer, and unless there are serious consequences for postponement, a second opinion when Mercury is direct is advised before embarking on any course of treatment for an illness. Wait till Mercury is direct to really make sure you're in the clear. Test results during a Mercury retrograde like this can be inconclusive. Avoid starting a new diet. Wait till Mercury is direct. But this time is better spent just researching your foods, what to eat, gathering recipes, nutritional information, and so forth. And then Mars will retrograde in Leo from December 6th, 2024 till the 23rd of February 2025. Now, I'm not going to go into detail with this. I'm just going to very briefly cover it as I'll go over it during the year. But Mars usually represents energy, drive, and the pursuit of goals. When it goes backwards, this dynamic energy turns inward, and people may find themselves doubting their wishes, their aspirations, and plans. This phase invites a re-examination of the direction one is going in, allowing for a more mindful approach to reaching goals. The backward motion reminds us that slowing down and revising strategies can be as important as moving forward. How do you spend your time, and how much do you actually enjoy your work? Where do you need to have more or less fun? What are you spending your money on? This is in your second house. Topics involving children can also appear during Mars retrograde in Leo. Our actions become more spontaneous yet reflective. This period prompts us to utilize our exceptional synthesis skills, enhancing the effectiveness of our endeavors. And as a result, we exhibit less passion, but we gain composure and become more efficient in our actions. Earlier this year, in August, Mercury also retrogrades in Leo, and Venus did in 2023. So, what have you learned from this area of your life? Leo deals with creativity, love affairs, romance, children, self-employment, money, politics, gambling, taking risks, your self-confidence, your self-expression, your rights and freedoms, your sovereignty, and fun. But for you, this is in your second house, so it adds the area of finances, your work, how that affects your level of confidence, your skills, your investments, your property, your possessions, your committed spousal relationship, if you're in a committed relationship, your confidence, your self-worth, especially in relation to what you do, what you own, and also who you're with. Property, your intake, what you eat, what you speak, and so forth. So there's definitely also, again, an emphasis on what you are doing as far as your health on a mind, body, soul level. Now let's talk eclipses. With the nodes in Aries and Libra, the focus shifts from the partnership dynamic to an exploration of individual identity. The call is to stand up for our rights without losing our sense of self. The emphasis is on recognizing ourselves first as unique individuals as Pluto ingresses into Aquarius. It amplifies our unique differences within the context of humanity. The North Node in Aries urges us to protect our individuality in the face of these cosmic shifts. I'll be covering these eclipses more in depth throughout the year, therefore I will just mention them at this time. On March 25th, there will be a Libra Lunar Eclipse full moon at 5 degrees. This is in your 4th house. It's angular and will affect most main parts of your life. This is an ending or culmination or fruition of sorts, something coming into its fullness in your 4th house of family, home, parents, the past, your childhood, your subconscious behavioral patterns, your memories from the past, endings, your deepest private emotions, your personal world, as well as your country of origin. April 8th, there will be an Aries Solar Eclipse new moon at 19 degrees of Aries. This is a big eclipse to watch for the year. This will be also angular for you. So again, can affect your whole main areas of your life. This is a new beginning or seed of intention in your 10th house of career, life direction, your marital status or title, the way the world sees you, validation, or it can also be a parent. On September 17th, or an authoritative figure. But on September 17th, there will be a Pisces lunar eclipse full moon at 25 degrees of Pisces. This is the first Pisces eclipse in the Pisces-Virgo axis transition, a closing out, an ending, or a fullness of completion in your 9th house that deals with the father, it deals with the in-laws, it deals with philosophy, spirituality, your faith, your belief systems, how you see the world, life after death topics, travel, foreign paperwork, foreign connections, higher learning, as well as publishing and so forth. And it can also deal with a person's second marriage, for example, your second spouse. Then on October 2nd, there will be a Libra Solar Eclipse, new moon, at 10 degrees of Libra in your 4th house again. And this will reflect off of the March eclipse that took place there. A new beginning or seed of intention by letting go of something connected to the lunar eclipse of March in your 4th house of family, home, parents, the past, your childhood, your subconscious behavioral patterns, endings, memories, your deepest private emotions, your personal world, and your country of origin. Well, thank you for listening, Cancer Rising. You are reclaiming your power and your sense of self-worth this year, being much more specific in where and to whom you would like to focus your energy towards, redefining your values, your faith, trust, and intimacy, greatly reconsidering what you would like your life to look like moving forward in a healed perspective, mind, body, and soul, whilst embracing great breakthroughs on your future dreams. You can also check out my consultations and offerings on my website, which includes Wild Apothecary. I also have the link to my 2024 Astrology Mundane Highlights video below. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May 2024 be filled with blessings coming your way. Until next time.